to Mobility Monday. I'm just about to start my workout for today, so I hope you will join me for that. And then please stick around because immediately after the workout, we're going to be doing our weekly Monday Mobility Challenge. There are timestamps in the description box down below the video, so if you would prefer to just skip straight ahead to the workout, or if you want to just skip straight to the Mobility Challenge, please just use the chapter markers to navigate to whatever portion of the video is relevant to you. But if you would like to see the exercises briefly demonstrated and explained before we begin, let's go ahead and get into that right now. So first of all, let me just talk about the equipment that I'm using today. You can see that I have 2 sets of dumbbells. I have a lighter set and a heavier set. For reference and for reference only, my lighter set of dumbbells are 5 pounds apiece. My heavier set of dumbbells are 10 pounds apiece. Those weights work well for me. You may need to use something lighter or heavier. That depends on your strength. It depends on your level of fitness. It also just depends on what you have available to you and of course how hard you're looking to push yourself today. So please consider all of those factors when choosing your weights and make the decision that is best for you. If you do not have dumbbells, that's fine. You can use household items like water bottles or shampoo bottles filled with some sort of weight. So you can fill them with water. You might be able to make them a little bit heavier if you fill them with something like uncooked rice or dried beans or lentils, kitty litter, powdered laundry detergent, something like that. So just get creative and use what you've got, as long as you can find something that you're able to maintain a secure grip on so that you're not going to drop it and hurt yourself or break something and make a mess. And as long as it's not too heavy for you, then any number of household items can work. But if you have nothing at all that's going to work for weight, or you just don't feel comfortable adding weight to your workout, or you just don't want to add weight to the workout for whatever reason, that's fine. You do not need any exercise equipment. You do not need any equipment whatsoever, even household items, to do this workout right along with me. So if you don't have dumbbells and you don't have any household items that will work, or you just don't want to add weight to the workout, that's fine. You do not need any equipment. You do not need to add weight. Other than my dumbbells, the only other things I'm using is an exercise mat and my jump rope. So if you don't have a mat, maybe grab a towel or something like that. You will be more comfortable with something soft beneath you though. So a towel should suffice if you don't have an exercise mat, but an exercise mat is ideal. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. If you don't have a jump rope, don't worry. You can eliminate the jump rope sections if you want, but you really can just substitute with any other type of cardio exercise while I'm jumping rope. So if you do have a jump rope, I have Rebecca here with me today. This is the jump rope I'm using today. Rebecca is my adorable black jump rope with these cute little white skulls on the handles. If you would like to know where I get my jump ropes, there is a link and a coupon code in the description box down below the video. So click on the link. Use coupon code RUDEBECCA to save an additional 10% on your jump rope. So if you are jumping rope with me today, you'll want to grab your jump rope. Any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. I always just kind of jog in place like this while I'm jumping rope. But if you're more comfortable jumping with your feet together, jump with your feet together. If you excel at jump rope and you would like to do a more challenging jump rope variation like high knees, or jump rope jacks, go for it. You can do a boxer shuffle, you can jump on one leg, it doesn't matter. Any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. If you don't have a jump rope, you can just pantomime jumping rope. So you can hold on to a couple of imaginary handles and jump over an imaginary rope, either with your feet together, or if you want to do it more like I do it, you can kind of jog in place. Of course, if you're just jogging in place and jumping over an imaginary rope, you don't necessarily need to be jumping over an imaginary rope. You can just jog in place. If you want to increase the intensity, you can do high knees, you can do jumping jacks, toe taps, mountain climbers, any kind of cardio exercise you want. Just keep in mind that we are on 45-second work intervals, so whatever cardio exercise you choose, just make sure it's something that you can realistically sustain for 45-second work intervals. But that's what to do if you don't have a jump rope. Super simple. And that covers 6 of our 30 work intervals. With the remaining work intervals, we are going to be doing 8 different exercises. So there are 8 exercises plus jump rope. So let's go ahead and get into those 8 exercises. I'll go through them very, very quickly, and then I'll explain the format so that you understand how everything fits together. So first of all, we're going to be starting starting with side jump lunges. So you want to remember flat back, weight in the heels. That is also going to apply to our squat variation. We're also going to be doing deadlifts. It's going to apply to our deadlifts. It's going to apply to our duck unders. So just keep remembering flat back, weight in the heels. So this is how you get there. Step one, I want you to visualize trying to tuck your shoulder blades into your back pockets so that your shoulders are back and down, away from the ears. That's going to help you keep your chest lifted nice and high. Pay attention to this sensation of your chest feeling lifted because you want to maintain that throughout the duration of the exercise, whether we're doing squats, lunges, deadlifts, or duck unders, okay? Shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high. You always want to make sure that your abs are super strong and tight and engaged. So imagine that someone's about to come along and punch you in the stomach as hard as they can and you're bracing for that impact. Now, what you want to do next is think about hinging at the hips so that you're imagining trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty. And remember, at the same time, you're keeping your chest lifted high. So also think about trying to touch the wall in front of you with your chest. That's going to help you to elongate your spine and achieve that flat back that I was talking about. It's also going to help you keep your weight in your heels. You should actually be able to pick up your toes. All right, so shoulders back and down, chest lifted high, abs tight. Think about hinging at the hips, pushing your booty back, keeping your back flat, keeping the weight in your heels. So that's gonna be for squats, lunges, deadlifts, and duck unders. So as I'm down here in my side lunge position, I have one leg extended out to the side. All of my weight is in the heel of my leg that's bent, okay? So my shoulders are back and down, my chest is high, my abs are tight, and I'm starting down here in my side lunge position. My back is flat, all of my weight is in this heel. And I'm going to come down and tap the ground. Now, if you cannot tap the ground without rounding your back, then don't worry about tapping the ground. Don't prioritize the wrong part of the movement. Tapping the ground is a goal. You may or may not achieve that goal today. So if the only way you're able to tap the ground is by rounding your back, the priority is to keep your back flat. So if you can only tap your knee or your shin or your ankle, that's fine, all right? The important part is to keep your back flat, sink as deep into that lunge as you can without pushing your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do, and tap either your knee or the ground, okay? Just remember to keep your back flat, keep the weight in your heel. And that's your starting position for the side jump lunges, okay? So you're down here in your lunge position, and now I'm just going to jump and switch the position of my feet. So I'm going to bring this outside foot in. As I do that, I'm jumping the inside foot out so that I'm ending up in a side lunge position facing the opposite direction. I'm gonna come down and tap my mat, keeping my back flat, keeping the weight in my heels, and then jump and switch the position of the feet, back and forth. All right, those are side jump lunges. That's our first exercise. Our second exercise is push-ups. So, really, any push-up variation you want to do is fine. I'm going to be doing Santana push-ups, so it's really just a push-up plus a side plank. So with your push-ups, remember, you want to keep your head in line with your spine. So if you imagine that you're standing with your back up against the wall and just gently pressing the back of your head into the wall, that's where you want your head to be. That's where you want your head to stay. So you want your head in line with your spine as you're up here in your starting position, in your plank pose. But then you also want your head to stay here. So make sure as you're doing your push-ups that you're not bobbing your head up and down. All right, keep your head in line with your spine. So you don't want to allow your head to droop like this. You do not need to overcorrect by hyperextending your neck and jutting your chin out. Head in line with the spine. Shoulders away from the ears. So first step is to really spread out all 10 fingers. Place your hands on the mat directly underneath your shoulders. Step your feet back so that you're in a plank pose. And when I say shoulders away from the ears, this is what I'm talking about. As you fatigue, it's going to be very common that you find yourself kind of sinking down into your shoulders like this. So the way to fix that is to really press the ground away from you so that your shoulders are away from your ears. And you want to keep your back flat. So when we were doing our lunges, and this is also going to apply to our squats and our deadlifts and our duck unders, we were trying to avoid a rounded back. So we were tucking our shoulder blades into our back pockets, lifting that chest, pushing the booty back, elongating the spine so that we can achieve that flat back. When you're doing your push-ups, you're trying to avoid the opposite of that. You're trying to avoid an arch in your back. And that happens when, again, as you fatigue, you find your hips, your belly kind of drooping down towards the mat. So what you want to do is tighten up your abs. Again, like someone's about to punch you in the stomach. Really engage your abs. Use your ab muscles to lift your hips up high and keep them lifted high. The point is that you want your body to be in one perfectly straight line from your heels all the way to your shoulders. If you're doing the push-ups from your knees, the only thing that changes is that your straight line is going from your knees to your shoulders instead of your heels to your shoulders. Other than that, everything's the same. You want that perfectly straight line, and then you want to keep that straight line. So as you bend your elbows and lower your chest as close to the mat as you can, just make sure you're not breaking that straight line. Make sure that you are not allowing your hips or your belly to droop down towards the mat. Make sure you're not bobbing your head up and down and bringing your forehead down to touch the mat. It sounds like, why would I do that? But the thing is, your goal is to get your chest all the way down to the mat. But again, that's a goal. You may or may not achieve that goal today, but if you are unable to get your chest all the way down to the mat, the temptation is going to be to compensate for that. And you might do it subconsciously. A lot of people do. So if you're here in your plank pose and you're bending your elbows trying to lower your chest all the way down to the mat, if you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, the temptation is going to be to do something like this, either lowering your hips or your belly down to the mat, or to lower your forehead down to the mat. Just to kind of like trick yourself into thinking you're getting all the way down. Again, don't worry about getting all the way down. That's prioritizing the wrong thing. The important thing is that you're keeping your body in one straight line the entire time, keeping your head in line with your spine, keeping your back flat, okay? So if you cannot get your chest all the way down to the mat, just shorten up your range of motion. Bring your chest as close to the mat as you can without breaking that straight line. And once you've gotten to that point, press the ground away from you, push yourself back up, and return to your starting position. All right, so mind your form on the push-up, either from your toes or from your knees. It's the same exact thing, all right? Head in line with the spine, shoulders away from the ears, super tight abs, flat back. So I'm going to be doing Santana push-ups. Like I said before, that's a push-up plus a side plank. So the push-up itself is just a standard push-up. Then I'm going to pick up one hand and rotate into a side plank, bringing this arm straight above me. Then rotate back into my plank pose. Super simple, alternating sides for the side plank with each rep. So with my next rep, I'll do another push-up, just a standard push-up, and then I'll pick up the opposite hand, rotate into a side plank facing the opposite direction. Make sure you're keeping those hips lifted high in your side plank, and then rotate back, return to my starting position. Okay, super simple, and you can do those from your knees as well. You can do a knee push-up and a knee assisted side plank. So you can extend your top leg as you rotate into your side plank and just leave this bottom knee on the mat for support. So that's our second exercise. Third exercise, we're staying down here on the mat for glute bridge raises. So you're going to come down onto your back on the mat, knees are bent, feet are flat on the mat, and you can have your arms down to the side like this, whatever's comfortable for you. You're going to press your heels into the mat. Visualize pressing the ground away from you with your heels as you lift your hips up as high as you can towards the ceiling or towards the sky. And then squeeze your glutes at the top. And then you're going to lower your hips back down to the mat with control. You don't need to do it that slowly. I'm just demonstrating the fact that the movement should be under control. So you're not just letting your hips drop down to the ground. You are pressing your heels into the mat to lift your hips as high as you can, squeezing the glutes, and then lowering your hips back down with control. Super simple. Lift and lower. All right, that is our third exercise. Fourth exercise is Russian twists. So we're going to stay right here. You're going to come up to a seated position. If you are a beginner, you can have your heels down on the mat like this. If you're more advanced or a little bit stronger, you can lift your heels up off the mat. But all you're going to do is twist and tap one side of your mat, twist and tap the other side. Twist and tap, twist and tap. So you're twisting your body thoracically, really feeling that squeeze in your obliques. If you are unable to actually tap the mat, that's fine. You may need to shorten up your range of motion if you're a beginner. So work to your own level, but what you're going for is tapping the mat. Just don't push your body into doing anything it's not ready to do. Again, that's your goal. You may or may not be there today, and that's fine. But that's it. That's the entire exercise. Just twist and tap, twist and tap. If you want to increase the difficulty a little bit, you can lift your heels up off the mat. That's the way I'm going to be doing it. Twist and tap, twist and tap. So you can always start with your heels elevated, and if it gets too difficult, put your heels down. That's another option, but that's it. That is our fourth exercise. The fifth exercise is a one-leg deadlift. So for the final four exercises, I do not need my mat. I'm just going to be doing one-leg deadlift. So again, it's a hip hinge. Shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high, abs are tight. I'm going to pick up one foot, bend the knee, and I'm just going to have this foot behind me as I push my booty back, hinge at the hips, keeping my back flat, keeping the weight in the heel of my standing leg, and making sure that I am not locking out this knee. You're not actively trying to straighten your standing leg. You specifically do not want this leg perfectly straight. Make sure there is a soft bend to your knee as you hinge at the hips. And you can come down and tap the ground if you want, and if you can keep your back flat while doing so. But again, you do not need to tap the ground. The important thing is that you're keeping your back flat, keeping the weight in your heels. So you might just be here, and that's great. We're switching legs with each rep. All right, so after you hinge at the hips to stand, you'll place this foot down, pick up the other foot, bend the knee, bring this foot behind you, make sure there's a soft bend to your standing knee, shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high, abs are tight, pushing the booty back, hinging at the hips, keeping your back flat, keeping the weight in your heel as you press that heel into the ground and hinge at the hips to stand. Switch legs. Deadlift, bend that standing knee as much as you need to. Shorten up your range of motion as much as you need to, but that's it. That's our deadlift. It's just a hip hinge, super simple. If it's too difficult to do it on one leg, you can keep both feet flat on the ground. You can have your hands, you can just do good mornings. It's basically same thing. You can have your hands clasped behind your head. You can have your fingers on your ears. You can have your hands on your hips, arms out to the side, it doesn't matter. It's just a hip hinge. So if it's too difficult to do it on one leg, you can just do your deadlifts with both feet on the ground, or you can do good mornings. Same basic idea. All right, but that is our fifth exercise. Our sixth exercise is duck unders. So what you're going to do is start towards one end of your workout space, and you're going to imagine that there is like a railing here or some kind of obstacle that you need to duck underneath. So we're going to step from here to here, and as we do that, we're ducking underneath our imaginary obstacle. So again, shoulders are back and down, chest is lifted high, abs are tight, and again, you're pushing your booty back. Keeping your chest lifted high, so it's like I'm trying to touch the wall behind me with my booty, trying to touch the wall in front of me with my chest, and you're going to duck down as low as you can underneath your imaginary obstacle. So step wide, ducking low, keeping your back flat, keeping the weight in your heels, and then back to the other side. Super simple. Just ducking under your imaginary obstacle. 2 more exercises. So next is a squat variation. Shoulders back and down, chest high, abs are tight. And again, you want to think about hinging at the hips. If you think about just squatting straight down right off the bat, what's going to tend to happen is that your knees are going to end up tracking over your toes. It's really not the movement. So again, you want that hip hinge to get you started. Think about trying to touch the wall behind you with your booty, keeping your back flat, keeping the weight in your heels, and from here is where you can sink down into your squat. Then press the ground away from you to stand. I'm doing sumo squats, so that just means my feet are a bit wider than shoulder width apart, and I have my toes angled out slightly, so they're not facing you directly, they're not facing the walls to either side of me. I'm kind of splitting the difference toes pointed out at about a 45-degree angle. And then from here, I'm just going to squat. I'm gonna tap the ground, but again, if you find that in order to tap the ground, you're needing to round your back, tapping the ground is not the important part of the movement. The important part is that you're keeping your back flat and keeping the weight in your heels. So if you need to shorten up your range of motion, you can just be here, that's fine. Then I'm going to stand and I'm going to reach up and I'm going to lift my heels. Now we're going to be doing this exercise 3 times, and you see I have dumbbells here and I haven't demonstrated anything with dumbbells. The reason for that is because we're going to be doing all of these exercises with and without weight. So when I do this exercise without any added weight, I'm going to reach up and I'm going to come up onto my toes for a calf raise. So just lifting the heels with control and then lowering them with control. Okay, so again, make sure you're not just allowing your heels to drop. And if it's too difficult to do the calf raise, you can eliminate it and just reach, okay? So squat and tap the ground and reach. I'm going to be adding this little calf raise, but I'm only doing the calf raise the first time through when we're doing our squats without any added weight. Once we start adding weight to that exercise, I'm going to eliminate the calf raise. All right, but that's up to you. You can keep it in there if you want. I just think it's a little bit cumbersome. And I'm really just adding it because I want to add another element, because when we add weight, we're adding an upper body element. So to just reach up and not be lifting any weight, I don't feel like is really adding anything to the exercise. So that's why I just wanted to add a little calf raise, just to make it a little more dynamic and a little more challenging. Okay, so the calf raise really is optional whether you're holding onto weight or not. All right, but that is our 7th exercise. One more exercise to go, and that is punch, punch, crunch, which is just what it sounds like. It's a punch and a punch and a crunch, and then a punch to the other side, punch and crunch. So you're alternating sides with each rep. Punch, punch, crunch, punch, punch, crunch. All right, punch, punch, crunch. All right, so I'm starting with my feet wider than shoulder width apart, and I'm punching across my body like I'm trying to punch that wall over there. And then I'm repeating on the other side, punching the other wall. And now from here, I'm going to lift this foot that's kind of behind me as I'm facing this wall. And I'm going to bring my knee up towards my opposite elbow, twisting my body thoracically, bringing my elbow to meet that knee. And then I'm going to return to this position and then punch in this direction, punch, and now take my foot that's kind of behind me, bring the knee up, bring elbow to knee, and return here. Punch, punch, crunch, okay? And then punch, punch, crunch, punch, punch, crunch. So always as you're here, you're gonna put that foot down and punch again towards that same direction, okay? Then punch the opposite direction, bring the back foot forward and crunch, and then punch back in the direction that you're already facing, okay? Punch, punch, crunch, punch again in this direction, punch, crunch, and then staying facing that wall, punch, punch, crunch, so that you're alternating sides with each rep. All right, and that's it. That's all 8 exercises. So now here's the format. This is a 30-minute workout. We are on intervals. We're on 15-second rest intervals and 45-second work intervals times 30 rounds. So if you want to go ahead and do the workout on your own, that's how you're going to set your timer. 30 rounds of 15-second rest intervals and 45-second work intervals. This is kind of, in one sense, a no repeat workout. There's 8 exercises. You're just going to go through that list once, all right? So as soon as you're finished with one exercise, you don't go back to it. But we're doing each exercise for 3 intervals before moving on. So there are 8 different exercises. If we're doing each of those 8 exercises for 3 intervals, that's 24 minutes. So the other 6 minutes is jump rope. So here's the way it works. I'm starting with jump rope. My first 3 work intervals are going to be jump rope. Then I'm going to move on to my weighted exercises, and I'm going to make my way through that list of 8 exercises exactly the way I just demonstrated them to you right now, okay? So that's our list of 8 exercises. That's the order we're going through. We're going to do each exercise 3 times before we move on to the next one. So the first time we do each exercise is going to be the body weight version of the exercise that I just showed you. The second time we do that exercise, I'm going to be adding a light set of weights. And then the third time through, I'm going to be holding on to my heavier set of weights. So for example, the first exercise we're doing after our first 3 jump rope intervals is side jump lunges. So I'm going to start by just doing the side jump lunges the way I demonstrated them to you a few minutes ago, okay? I'm going to do that for 45 seconds. Then during my 15-second rest interval, I'm going to come over here and pick up my light set of dumbbells, and I'm going to do the same exact exercise while holding on to my 5-pound dumbbells. Okay, we'll do that for 45 seconds. During the rest interval, I will swap these out. I'll place my lighter set of weights down, I'll pick up my heavier set of weights, and then I'll do the same exact exercise while holding on to my 10-pound dumbbells. All right, then I will put my 10-pound dumbbells down, and now that I've done my side jump lunges 3 times, now it's time to move on to the next exercise. So I will go, my next exercise is push-ups. So I'm going to do Santana push-ups. I'll do them once with no added weight, and then the second time through, I'll hold on to my light set of dumbbells. Now, one thing I didn't mention about my dumbbells is that these are hex dumbbells. And that's significant for the push-ups because I'm going to be holding onto my dumbbells while I'm doing my push-ups and while I'm in a side plank. So the fact that these are shaped like a hexagon on the ends means that they're flat on the bottom, and that provides sufficient stability for me while I'm in my plank position so that I'm not worried about my dumbbells rolling around on me and I'm not going to fall. So if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends, or if you are using household items for weight, like water bottles or shampoo bottles, I would prefer that you modify this exercise just slightly by doing the push-ups with both hands flat on the floor or the ground. So that will look like this. You're going to place your dumbbells down on the ground, place your hands flat on the floor or the ground inside of your dumbbells. Do your push-up either from your toes or from your knees, but do your push-up with both hands flat on the floor or the ground. And then as you come up into your side plank, you'll keep this hand flat on the ground as you pick up your dumbbell. And then you're going to row the dumbbell up to your shoulder first before you press it up overhead. Then bring the dumbbell back down to your shoulder, come back into your plank position, let go, place your hand flat on the ground. So now both hands are flat on the ground again, and then do the other side. So push up with both hands flat on the ground, and now picking up the other dumbbell, rowing it up to the shoulder first, then pressing the weight up overhead, bring the weight back down to your shoulder, return to your plank pose, let go of the dumbbell, and place both hands flat on the floor or the ground. All right, I'm going to be doing my push-ups while holding on to my dumbbells. So I know that there are plenty of people who will do push-ups and, plank rows while holding on to rounded dumbbells. It's your decision, okay? You need to decide what level of risk you are comfortable taking, but for the record, if your dumbbells are rounded on the ends or if you're using household items for weight, I would prefer that you use the modification that I just showed you so that you always have at least one hand flat on the floor or the ground for support and for stability. I don't want anyone getting hurt, but I'm going to do 45 seconds of Santana push-ups with no added weight, and then rest for 15 seconds, and then I'm going to do the push-ups the way I just showed you with my light set of weights for 45 seconds, rest for 15 seconds, and then the third time through, I'll do the same exercise with my heavier set of weights, all right? And then we'll move on to glute bridge raises, once with no added weight, once with my 5-pound dumbbells, and once with my heavier set of dumbbells, my 10-pound dumbbells. I'm just gonna place the dumbbells on my hips so that as I press my heels into the ground and lift my hips, I'm having to lift my own body weight plus the extra weight, the extra 10 pounds or 20 pounds. All right, so we're just gonna follow that same pattern for all 8 exercises. We're going to do each exercise 3 times through in a row. The first time will be without any added weight, the second time will be with our light weights, and the third time will be with our heavier set of weights. So if you have a lighter set of weights and a heavier set of weights, great. But if you don't, that's fine, okay? You can just use the same set of weights for the second and third time through, or you can do the first 2 times without any added weight and then just add weight to the third and final time through. You can do the first interval without weight and then add weight and then take the weight away for the third interval. So any way that's going to work for you is fine. If you're doing it, it's your workout. So you do it in whatever way works for you, and you make whatever changes or modifications you need to make in order to accommodate your fitness level and also your the availability of certain pieces of equipment. So if you only have one set of weights, then we're doing each exercise 3 times through. So you decide if you want to do once with weight, twice without weight, twice with weight, once without weight. If you want to go back and forth, it's up to you, okay? But that's the pattern. Each exercise 3 times in a row before we move on to the next exercise, and then we're going to finish with 3 more jump rope intervals, okay? So we're starting with 3 jump rope intervals, then we're working our way through our circuit, doing each exercise 3 times with or without weight, your call, before moving on to the next exercise. And then by the time we finish with our 8th exercise, we'll have 3 intervals left. So those final 3 intervals will be jump rope again, any style, all right? I know this sounds like a lot. It might sound confusing when I'm just explaining it, but please keep in mind that I always take the time to type out the instructions in the description box down below the video. And of course, I'm going to do the entire workout right along with you. So watch me do it, read the instructions. But of course, as always, if anything is unclear with the format of the workout, how everything fits together, how you can make changes or modifications to the format to accommodate your time constraints or your fitness level or your access to equipment. If you have any questions about the exercises that we are doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, please remember that I am always here to help. So ask questions if you have them. It's really important that you understand how to do the exercises correctly before you begin the workout, so that you reduce your risk of injury, and also just so that you make sure that you're getting the maximum benefit out of each exercise. And you guys know it's also incredibly important to me that all of my workouts are always accessible to anyone and everyone who wants to do them with me. So I'm always here to help facilitate that. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions or if you need help. And just one final reminder, especially if you're going to be working out with me, if you're working out along with the video, please remember to go at your own pace. So if you're in really good shape, you will almost definitely be able to do lots more reps than I can during each work interval. And that's fantastic. Congratulations. Good for you, all right? As long as you are not losing anything off of your form to get there. If you find that you're racing through the exercises because you're just trying to stay ahead of me or go really, really fast, so you can say you got a great score, you completed so many reps. If you're just racing through and going through the motions and your form starts to get sloppy, that means you need to slow down. It is always going to be safer and more effective to do fewer reps with excellent form than it is to race through the exercises and do lots and lots of sloppy reps. All right, so the same applies if you're slower than I am. If you're slower than I am, fantastic, wonderful. Because you wouldn't even know that you were slower than I am unless you were out here busting your little booty with me, putting in the work and doing the reps. So if you're slower than I am, that's great. Go at your own pace. Please do not race to keep up with me at the expense of your form. Yes, the goal is to complete as many reps as possible during each work interval, but with good form. You never want to sacrifice your form for speed, okay? So make sure that you are going at your own pace, and please make sure that you're working to your own level. What do I mean by that? I mean, first of all, choosing dumbbells or household items that are an appropriate weight for you, nothing that's too heavy. It means that if you start an exercise with a set of dumbbells that feels like it's a good weight for you, but then it starts to get too taxing and your form starts to suffer, it means dropping down to a lighter weight or putting the weights down altogether and switching to the body weight version of the exercise. It means shortening up your range of motion if necessary. Do not push your body into doing anything that it is not ready to do. It means applying beginner modifications if you need to, and it means resting as necessary. We have those nice long 15-second rest intervals, but if you find that 15 seconds is not enough rest for you in between work intervals, or if you find that halfway through a work interval you're just getting really fatigued and you need to take a few seconds to rest, okay? Rest as much as you need to. I want you to challenge yourself to keep those additional rest breaks as short as you can, but they should be as long as you need them to be. I only want you to resume the workout once you feel that you have regained enough strength and you have enough stamina so that you can continue with good form, all right? So please just be smart, be safe, listen to your body, and make the decision that is best for you. Just do your best, and please remember that your best is always good enough, so let your best be good enough. Hopefully I have covered everything. If you're ready to go ahead and start the workout, gather whatever equipment you are needing. So for me, again, that's my exercise mat, a lighter set of dumbbells, a heavier set of dumbbells, and my jump rope. So make sure you have something soft beneath you. If you don't have an exercise mat, grab a towel. If you're working out on a carpeted floor or on grass, you may not need anything at all. Grab a couple of sets of dumbbells if you have multiple sets of dumbbells. If not, one set of dumbbells will suffice, as will one set of water bottles or shampoo bottles, even a couple of cans of soup from the pantry. Again, though, if you don't have anything that's going to work for weight, or you just don't want to add weight to the workout, you don't need to worry about dumbbells or cans of soup or water bottles or anything, all right? If you're using weight, get whatever you're using for weight ready, but if you're not using weight, don't worry about it. Grab your jump rope if you have one, and if you're jumping rope with me today, then pause the video. Go get dressed, meet me right back here. We're going to start with a 5-minute warm up, and then we'll get right into this super tough, super intense strength and cardio 30-minute HIIT workout. All right, so as soon as you're ready, let's get started with our 5-minute warm up. So you're going to begin by just allowing your head to fall towards one shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Make sure that you are not actively pulling your ear down towards your shoulder. You just want to rest your hand there. You're just letting gravity do all the work of gently stretching the other side of your neck by just using the weight of your arm. So now we're going to switch sides. Allow your head to fall towards the opposite shoulder. Place your hand on top of your head and just rest it there. Your arm is relaxed. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed as well. So you don't want your shoulders hunched up by your ears. Shoulders should be away from the ears. Next, we're just going to roll the head from shoulder to shoulder. So you're going to start by allowing your chin to fall first towards your chest and then towards the opposite shoulder and back. And each time you roll your head from one shoulder to the other, just start to feel your head getting heavier and heavier. Allow your range of motion to increase until finally you're just allowing your entire torso to kind of fall in front of you. Your arms should be nice and loose like a rag doll. Now rolling the shoulders. I always roll my shoulders to the back. You can roll them towards the back or towards the front. It doesn't matter. Just make sure that you're exploring your full range of motion. Make those circles as big as you can. Really exaggerate the movement. And next we're going to do arm circles, but we're going to start small with our arm circles. So extend your arms out to the side and start by making small circles. But gradually as the interval progresses, you want to start making your circles bigger and bigger until finally you are exploring your full range of motion, making those circles as big as you possibly can. Now step your feet out so that they're a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Bend the knees, sweep the arms in front of you, and as you straighten your legs to stand, you're reaching up as high as you can. Each time you bend your knees, just allow your range of motion to increase, sinking deeper and deeper into that squat. Now keep your feet planted right where they are. We're going to lunge side to side, nice and easy. And now add the arms. So now with each lunge, I'm reaching my arm across my body. It's like you're trying to throw your arm across the room, really loosening up your shoulders. Now step your feet in towards the middle. We're going to march in place, knees low to start. But gradually as the interval progresses, you're going to start driving your knees up, higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Feel a nice little stretch in your glutes. And now we're just gonna jog in place. Again, knees are low to start, but gradually you can start driving your knees up higher and higher towards your chest until finally you're driving your knees up as high as you can towards your chest. Next is booty kicks. So it's still just a nice light jog, but this time with each step, I'm bringing my foot behind me. Really try to kick yourself in the booty with your heel. If you struggle with balance, you may need to hold on to the wall or a chair or the arm of your couch for support. If not, hands on the hips is fine. Just pick up one foot. You're gonna swing the leg front and back. Nice and loose. Just waking up those hip flexors. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So you'll put this foot down, transfer your weight, pick up the other foot, and just swing the leg front and back. You can start low, and as the interval progresses, if it feels comfortable, you can start expanding your range of motion, swinging that leg higher and higher. Now put this foot down, pick up the other foot, extend the leg out in front of you, and then bring the leg around and behind. Each time you make this little semicircle with your leg, lifting your leg higher and higher, and for the final 2 reps, you're gonna do a hip circle. So drive the knee up in front of you, use your hand to guide it around. Switching legs. So extend the opposite leg out in front, making a semicircle, bringing that leg around and behind, lifting the leg higher and higher each time. And now 2 hip circles. Drive the knee up in front of you. Use your hand to guide it around. And we'll finish with a quick hamstring stretch. I'm using this post to assist me because the goal is to keep your back as flat as possible so that you isolate your hamstrings more effectively. Using the wall or a chair or the arm of your couch can just make that a little bit more accessible, can make it a little bit more comfortable and a little bit easier to get into this stretch while keeping your back as flat as possible. But that's it. That's our little 5-minute warm up. So let's go ahead and get right into the workout. We're starting with 3 consecutive jump rope intervals. As soon as you're ready, here we go. I'm starting my timer in 3, 2, 1. This is a 15-second rest interval so that we have a few seconds to get ready and we don't lose anything off of our first work interval. And now we're going to jump rope for 45 seconds. Any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. Here we go. So now 15 seconds to rest. We're going to do 2 more jump rope intervals. Okay, 1 more jump rope interval. Then I'm gonna hang up my jump rope. And we'll start on our list of 8 exercises. Okay, so we're done with jump rope for now. Next exercise is side jump lunges. First, without any added weight. So starting in your side lunge position, you're just going to jump and switch the position of your feet. Now you can stick with the body weight version if you want. I'm going to be doing the same exercise with a light set of weights. Now, you can stick with light weights, you can go back to body weight, or if you want, you can switch to a heavier set of weights. All right, weights down. Oh no, next is push-ups. I don't need my mat yet. If you do need push-ups, grab your mat. I'm doing Santana push-ups. So push-up, side plank, alternating sides for your side plank with each rep. want to add weight, starting with a light set of weights if you have them. If not, stick with the body weight version. Okay, last push-up of intervals. Last interval of push-ups. Stick with the lighter weights if you want. Switch to heavier weights if you want. Or if you want, remember, you can drop the added weight altogether and go back to the body weight version of the exercise. All right, little break from the weights. Now I'm gonna grab my mat for glute bridge raises. So knees bent, feet flat on the mat. Press your heels into the mat. Lift your hips as high as you can. Squeeze the glutes at the top. Lower the hips back down with control. Now I'm going to add weight by placing my dumbbells on top of my hips. You can use one weight or two. I have my hands on the dumbbells just so that they stay put and they don't roll off of me, but I'm not using my upper body at all. I want to make sure you're still making your lower body and your core do all the work. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to my heavier set of dumbbells and do the same thing. Again, you can use one dumbbell or two. And again, same options. You can stick with the lighter weight, or you can drop the added weight altogether and do your third interval of glute bridge raises without any added weight. All right, quickly. Oh, no rush So dropping the weight, heels down if you need to. If you're more advanced, you can lift the heels up off the mat and then just twist and tap, twist and tap. After this exercise is where I'm gonna kick my mat out of the way. After this exercise, we don't need the mat anymore. So now again, if 2 weights is too heavy, you can hold on to 1 weight like that with 1 hand on either side of the weight. I'm going to be holding both of my lighter dumbbells together. And then same exercise, twist and tap, twist and tap. If it starts to get too taxing, you can take a brief rest break like I just did, but you have other options as well. You can put your heels down. You can drop 1 dumbbell or both dumbbells. Okay, last interval of Russian twists. With or without weight. All right, now I'm gonna kick my mat to the side. I don't need it again until the final 3 intervals. So next is 1 leg deadlift, alternating legs with each rep. First time through with no added weight. Now, adding weight if you want to. We're gonna do 2 more intervals of deadlifts. So I'm holding on to my lighter set of dumbbells this time. All right, last interval of deadlifts. So you can increase the weight, stay the same, decrease the weight, or drop the added weight altogether. Fight for that balance. Remember, you can also do these with both feet flat on the ground. That's fine. But we're done with them. Next is duck unders. So starting towards one end of your workout space, you have a railing here, some sort of imaginary obstacle. You're going to step to the side and duck underneath your imaginary obstacle and back. Adding weight if you want to. Again, you can hold on to one weight. I'm holding my weights together like this. This is my lighter set of dumbbells. And here we go, duck under and back. Okay, final interval of duck unders. One weight or two. Heavy weights or light weights or no weights. Just 2 exercises left. Hang in there with me. Next is sumo squats. Adding that calf raise at the top if you want. You can be doing any squat variation you want, really. But I'm doing sumo squats, so my feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Angles, or toes angled out slightly. Now, one weight or two. Light weights or heavy weights, or no weights at all, that's up to you. Same exercise. So squat, now curl the weights and press them up overhead. If holding both of your weights together starts to get too heavy, just drop one. Okay, last interval of squats. Increase the weight if you want. Stay the same if you want. Decrease the weight if you want. Drop the weight if you want. Squat, curl the weights, press them up overhead. I know it's getting tough. Hang in there with me just a few more seconds. Weights down. Rest for 15. We just have one exercise left. Punch, punch, crunch. So feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And a punch, punch, crunch. Punch, punch, crunch. Rest for 15. Pick up a light set of weights if you want. If not, just repeat the exercise with no added weight. All right, final work interval before we finish up with jump rope. This is super tough with heavy weights, so do your best. All right, we made it. That was our 8th and final Now all we have left to do is finish up with 3 more intervals of jump rope. That's 1. Just 2 more. Keep pushing. Rest for 15. Unless I messed up, unless I miscounted or skipped an exercise, this should be our final work interval. So let's push really hard. We have less than a minute to go. That's it, that's our 30 minutes. We made it. I just wanted to tack on a few extra reps because making that transition from my final round of punch, punch, crunch into jump rope, I lost a few seconds off of my first jump work interval, so I just wanted to make that up. But that's our 30 minutes. Amazing job. That was really intense. We are not quite finished yet. No workout of mine is ever complete until we have done our bonus burpee. So we have just 1 rep left to go. But first, whenever I do a workout that incorporates jump rope, in addition to my bonus burpee, I also like to do a bonus set of 100 with my jump rope. So if you would like to join me, again, any style of jump rope you want to do is fine. We're just counting 100 revolutions of the jump rope. The bonus burpee is mandatory, but this bonus round of jump rope is completely optional. So if you don't want to do the bonus round of jump rope, just take another minute to breathe, cheer me on, hope that I can get through my bonus round of jump rope without tripping over Rebecca. If you would like to join me, here we go, just counting 100 revolutions of the jump rope. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last 100. So that's our little bonus set of jump rope. If you were cheering me on, thank you, it worked. I got through it without tripping. And now we have just 1 rep left to go. Let's go ahead and do our bonus burpee together, and then the workout will be officially complete. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. Final rep of the day. All right, with that, the workout is now officially complete. So let's just do a quick cool down together. You just want to keep moving while you allow your heart rate to come down a little bit, while you allow your breathing to normalize. So you can kind of pace back and forth, shake out the legs a little, and focus on slowing down your breathing by really feeling your diaphragm being pulled down. Think about breathing all the way down to your belly button. Allow your rib cage to expand and visualize filling up your entire torso with air. And then use your diaphragm to push the air out with control. Shake out the legs, shake out the arms. Let's do a quick shoulder stretch. So just bringing one arm across your body, using your other arm to pull it in tight towards your chest. Make sure your straight arm is completely relaxed. Make sure your shoulder is completely relaxed. If your shoulder is tense and hunched up here by your ear, you're not going to be able to stretch it effectively. So relax the arm, relax the shoulder. Make sure you're continuing to move. So again, you can pace, you can shake out the legs. I usually just kind of shift my weight from foot to foot. Let's take one more deep breath here. And come out. Shake out the arms. Let's get the other shoulder. So bringing the other arm across your body, using your opposite arm to pull it in close to your chest. Your arm is relaxed, shoulder is relaxed, feeling that nice stretch in your shoulder. Make sure you're continuing to move, and make sure you're continuing to focus on slowing down your breathing. Breathing all the way down into your belly button. Let's take one last deep breath here. Feel the ribcage expand, feel your entire torso fill up with air, and then using your diaphragm to push the air out slowly and with control. Come out, shake out the arms. Let's do a tricep stretch. So bending one elbow, place your hand on your elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Make sure that the fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground as you do this stretch. So you're trying to avoid having this hand hanging out up here somewhere by your shoulder. Point those fingers straight down as you gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Feel that nice stretch in your triceps. One more deep breath here. And come out. Nice. Shake it out. Let's get the other side. So bending the opposite elbow, place your hand on the elbow and gently pull your elbow towards the opposite shoulder. Your fingers on your free hand are pointing straight down at the ground. You're continuing to move, so either shift your weight back and forth from foot to foot, or shake out the legs or pace. One more deep breath, breathing all the way down to your belly button. Exhaling with control, really feel that stretch in your triceps, and come out. For our last stretch, we're going to stretch our quads. So if you struggle with balance, you can hold on to a railing like this, or the wall, or the arm of your couch or a chair for support if you need to. All right, so you're going to bend one knee, bring your hand that's on the same side behind you, and grab a hold of the top of your foot. If you are not holding on to anything for support, you can reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands. And now you're going to press your heel into your booty cheek, really press it in there. As you're doing that, you want to tilt your pelvis forward. So it's like you're kind of tucking your booty underneath you, and imagine trying to touch your spine with your belly button. As you do that, you're continuing to really press your heel into your booty cheek. As soon as you combine both of those two elements, You're instantly going to feel that stretch intensify as you isolate your quad muscles more effectively, but you should also feel the stretch extend up to your hip flexors as well once you tilt your pelvis forward like that. So coming out, shake out the legs. Let's get the other side. So bending the opposite knee, bringing the foot behind you, reach back and grab a hold of the top of your foot with the hand that's on the same side if you're holding on to something for support. If you're not holding on to anything for support, you can grab a hold of the top of your foot with both hands. Press your heel into your booty cheek and tilt your pelvis forward, tucking your booty underneath you, sucking that belly button all the way back towards your spine. Making sure as you do that, that you're continuing to really press your heel into your booty cheek. Feel that stretch intensify in your quads. Feel that stretch extend all the way up to your hip flexors. One more deep breath here. Tuck that tailbone, press the heel into your booty cheek and breathe all the way down to your belly button. Exhale with control and come out. And one more time, shake out the legs, shake out the wrists, shake out the arms, swing the arms a little bit. And that's it. That's our little cool down. So if you find that you're still breathing heavily, your heart rate is still elevated, that's fine. You can just keep pacing back and forth. You can keep working on slowing down your breathing, and you can do a little more light stretching. That's a great idea. Just remember that this little bit of light stretching that we do during the cool down does not take the place of a proper stretching routine. It's still really important to make sure that you're taking a good 15 or 20 minutes every day to stretch. It's going to help alleviate any muscle soreness that you might be experiencing after the workouts. It's also going to help reduce your risk of injury moving forward, and of course it's going to improve your flexibility. So please make sure that you're taking the time to stretch every day. Immediately after the workout is always going to be the most efficient and the most effective time to get your stretching done because your muscles are already nice and warm. But if you don't have time to stretch right now, that's fine. Just remember, if you do put off your stretching until later on in the day, that your muscles will have gotten cold again. So you'll need to take a few minutes to warm them back up. You never want to jump into your stretching routine with cold muscles because your muscles need to be warm in order for them to be pliable so that you can stretch them safely and effectively. So please make sure that you are taking the time to stretch every day, but also please make sure that you are doing so safely. But that's it. That is our little cool down. So now it is Mobility Monday, so that means that I found another mobility challenge on Instagram for us to try. I'm going to go grab my phone. We'll watch the reel a few times together so that we understand the movement. All right, so I am watching the Instagram reel right now. Let's watch it a few times together so that you can see what I'm looking at and we understand what it is that we are about to attempt. All right, mobility challenge. So she's basically just doing a Cossack squat, and then she's picking up her straight leg and bringing it in front of her, transitioning to a pistol squat. So let's watch it again. Cossack squat, pistol squat. Now she's staying low. She's going into a Cossack squat on the other side and then repeating the pistol squat. Let's watch it again. Cossack squat, pistol squat, other side. And now after this pistol squat, she's putting that leg back down, placing the foot back down. Watch it one last time. Straight leg comes in front for a pistol squat, and now both feet flat. Now she's bending over, placing her forearms on the ground and straightening her legs while keeping her forearms on the ground. So testing a little bit of hamstring flexibility there as well. So it's a really simple movement, and I've done a lot of her challenges each week when we do these Monday mobility challenges. You've seen her face a lot. She has a lot of great challenges on her Instagram page, and she makes them all look incredibly easy, but I know that this is not easy. I can do a Cossack squat, I can do a pistol squat, but that transition is going to be really, really tricky. It is going to require a lot of hip mobility, but also a lot of strength and a lot of balance. So this is going to be a really tough one. Let's give it a shot. We'll see what happens. I am in my stockinged feet. She was wearing shoes, I believe, but I feel like with bare feet, I'm going to be able to have a little bit more control over the movement, but it's a little chilly out here, so I'm keeping my socks on. You can have socks, shoes, naked feet, whatever feels most comfortable to you, but I'm doing this without my shoes on because I feel like I'm going to have a better chance at successfully completing the challenge that way. So if you want to take your shoes off, feel free. But she was starting with a Cossack squat, so I'm going to start with my feet wide apart. And then again, I want my shoulders back and down, chest lifted high, abs tight. Make sure your abs stay super strong and tight and engaged the whole time. Make sure you're pushing your booty back. Keep your back flat, keep the weight in your heel as you come down into basically a side lunge position, and then keep going until you're all the way down here in your Cossack squat with your booty all the way down below your knee, as close to the mat as it really can get without putting it down. Now, here's the tricky part. We have to pick up this straight leg and bring the leg in front of us for a pistol squat. So pick up that foot, swing the leg in front for a pistol squat, and then swing it back. Now I failed because I tapped my hand down. So this first attempt is already a failure, but I'm gonna continue because I came close, and I think that if I wasn't going so slowly and talking us through the movement, I could have done that. So I'm going to continue and see how close I can get on the other side because that's my weaker side. So this went better than I was expecting, but I'm worried about the other side. So now we're going to press this heel into the mat, and she was staying really low as she transitioned into a Cossack squat on the other side. So far, so good. So I'm just readjusting since I already failed. All right, so now we have to do the same thing on this side. We have to pick up this straight leg, swing the leg out in front, come into a pistol squat position, and then swing the leg back to the side. And I can already feel that this is like going to be impossible for me on this side. Okay, focus. Okay, pick up the leg. I'm trying to pick it up and it's not coming with me. All right. Pistol squat, put the leg back down. It wasn't pretty, but we did it. All right, and now she came to the middle and she came forward. She placed her forearms on the mat, and then she straightened her legs. Now the challenge here, this is testing hamstring flexibility. So the challenge is to straighten the legs while keeping the elbows down on the mat. And that's it. We did it, kind of. We came close. So yeah, this one is really tough. She makes all her challenges look so easy. I knew this one was gonna be tough, but believe it or not, that actually, even though I failed on that first attempt, it actually went better than I was anticipating. So I'm good with that. If you also failed on the first attempt, remember, warped wall rules. That means we get 3 attempts. So we're going to try it twice more. If you were successful that first time, congratulations, you're amazing, because that was a tough challenge. You can sit these next 2 attempts out if you would like, but I would encourage you to do them with me anyway, to make sure the first attempt wasn't a fluke, to make sure you can repeat your success, and just to clean it up. You guys know that every week we do these Monday mobility challenges, and then I keep working on them because I like to get mine looking as clean as I can so that I can make my own Instagram reel. I also share it as a YouTube short, so look for that tomorrow. But as of now, I still have not successfully completed the challenge, so let's hope that we are able to get it within the next 2 attempts. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. This is attempt number 2. We've seen it once, we've tried it once, I've talked us through it once. So this time, let's try to pick up the pace a little bit and see if we can make the movement flow a little better, and that might increase our odds of successfully completing the challenge this time. We'll see. So starting with your feet a little wider than shoulder width apart, we're going to come down into a Cossack squat. Now pick up this straight leg, bring it forward for your pistol squat, put the leg back. Now, Cossack squat on the other side, stay low as you make that transition, and now pick up the other foot, bring the leg forward into a pistol squat. It is so hard on this side, but that counts. Now, coming back into the center, keep your knees bent, and place your elbows down on the mat, and now see if you can straighten your legs, keeping your elbows flat on the mat, and then stand, and that's it. We really did it that time. All right, so that time was much smoother, but my weaker side is still a mess, so I still have a lot of work to do. If you still have not gotten it, don't worry. We get one more chance. If you were successful that second time, let's do it once more anyway, so that you can work on cleaning yours up with me, and also just in solidarity with those of you who have not gotten it yet. So as soon as you're ready, here we go. Third and final attempt. Shake out the arms, shake out the legs. One more deep breath. Here we go. Starting with your feet wide apart, you're going to come down into your Cossack squat. Now pick up that straight leg, swing the leg out in front of you, coming into a pistol squat, and swing the leg back over to the side. Now Cossack squat on the other side. Stay low as you make that transition, and then you're going to pick up your straight leg, swing it out in front of you, coming into a pistol squat, bring the leg back to the side, coming to the middle, elbows down, and now see if you can straighten the legs with your elbows remaining down on the mat. Stand, and that's it. We did it. It still was not beautiful, I know that. I'm going to keep working on it, but I was able to successfully complete the challenge. So for me, that is another successful Monday Mobility Challenge in the books. Let me know how you did with it. Let me know if you were able to successfully complete this mobility challenge. Let me know how many attempts it took you. And let me know if you experienced what I did, where one side was so drastically different from the other side. I know this is my weaker leg, but I was a bit surprised at how much more difficult it was on this leg. So just let me know how you did with it. Let me know if you were successful. And if you did this workout with me today, thank you so much. Please let me know what you thought of it and how you did. Thank you to everyone who has been working out with me lately. And even if you're not doing the workouts with me, thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for liking and sharing the videos. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful and supportive and engaging comments. It truly does mean the world to me. Thank you so much to all of my new subscribers. If you are not subscribed already, please subscribe. And of course, a great big thank you to those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for years. Please know that I appreciate you all so very much. One final reminder that if anything was unclear with the format of today's workout and how everything fits together, how you can modify and customize the format to accommodate your time constraints or your fitness level, if you have any questions about the exercises that we were doing today, if you have any doubts about how to do these exercises with the correct form, or if you need any further help with equipment-free substitutions or beginner modifications beyond what I have already provided, please remember that I am always here to help. So ask questions if you have them. That is going to do it for today. But before I say goodbye, I have to say one final thank you to those of you who have been watching the videos all the way until the end and commenting with the secret code phrase of the day. So before I say goodbye, I will give you today's secret code phrase of the day. It is empty chair, do a solo. So if you are still watching this video, hello, thank you for watching all the way until the end. Please let me know that someone is still watching by going down to the comment section and leaving me a comment that says empty chair, do a solo. That is going to do it for today. I will see you all next time. Bye.